Okay, if I could have everyone's attention, we're going to call to order the Education Economic Development Committee meeting. I would ask everyone to please silence your cell phones and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. Okay, thank you. Can we have a roll call, please, Kelly?
Yes, Cheney.
Here.
Sassy.
Here.
O'Donnell.
Here.
Totel. Here. Sierra. Menuda.
Here.
Stiganga. Riskevich.
Here.
6 present, 2 absent.
Okay, thank you. First up, we have Bill Fioravanti, CEO of the IDA for a monthly update.
Good evening. Thanks for having me. Feels like I was just here, but I guess not. So I will continue to try and keep this short. First of all, the legislature, of course, released their investigative report on the IDA misgivings, misdoings, et cetera, et cetera. The board is reviewing that right now. We presented it at our we had a committee meeting last Wednesday. It was the first topic we discussed. So the board is currently discussing that, reviewing it, and they'll determine what actions they will take based upon those recommendations. So thank you for that. That continues to be another resource as we try and rebuild this agency. Staffing, I officially started as CEO on Monday the 22nd, so that was when I stopped doing double duty here with the county. We are looking to add a little admin help. I think I may have mentioned this before. We have Kelly Riley, our program manager. She's actually able to take a little vacation now, so she's off this week. So getting a little help with someone to help do the minutes and with a little other admin help. Hoping to continue to ramp up staff into the new year. Board members, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but just to officially let the group know that we did have 2 resignations this month from board members who were set to resign at the end of this calendar year, or at least their terms were expiring. John Dowdett and Leslie Pieri, who certainly served admirably, but they both have a lot going on and are looking forward to getting back to their main life and their primary work. So we are down to 4 board members now. I know the message is well received by leadership of the legislature, and I know you're looking to make some future appointments. So we do look forward to that. Legal counsel, we just hired brand new general counsel. Her name is Susan Katzoff from the firm Bousquet Holstein, actually an upstate firm. But we were actually seeking IDA expertise. That was really the top criterion, that and someone without any ties to anyone. Of course, we want someone that's independent, going to give us completely impartial guidance. Sue Katzoff came highly recommended. I did meet her at a conference for the New York State Economic Development Corporation in Cooperstown recently. I was there looking for other attorneys, encouraging them to respond to our RFP. She did overwhelmingly well in her interviews. I think she blew everyone away, especially with her IDA expertise, of course. So she was just appointed by the board at our last board meeting on November 15th. I look forward to her all meeting you in one way or another. We also, I believe I have mentioned, had RFPs out there for new bond counsel, our transaction counsel. So we did receive a number of responses to that, 5 quality responses, and the board will be reviewing those shortly. Warwick Tech Park, of course, everyone knows about our investments. We made two major investments in the former prison site over there, one for $1,050,000 to help make the green fields or the open fields shovel ready for developable parcels. When the Warwick Local Development Corporation sold that land recently to Green Thumb Industries, the cannabis manufacturer, we were reimbursed our $1,050,000 for that. We also made a contribution, an investment of $2.5 million in 2018. All but $500,000 I have mentioned will be reimbursed by a grant that's tied to the fact that it was a former prison site. The Warwick LDC has already cut that check and they're waiting to give it to us. We just have to sign some release documents to release the property back to them. So that is coming. Finance, our November financials show that we are more than $1.5 million under expenses as originally budgeted for 2021, obviously as a result of the cuts and the lean nature in which we're running the organization. We also have cash balances of total, I combine them, about $9.8 million between the IDA and the OCFC. That'll go up by another $2 million once we deposit the check from Warwick, as I mentioned. I've talked about accelerators. We're continuing to try and by attrition, pull ourselves out of at least the very expensive nature of the accelerators, the real estate heavy nature of them. Now that the town of New Windsor supervisor has been confirmed after a very close call, we're meeting with them again because those are our first leases that are expiring. Our leases that we have with property owners, not that we have subleases with our accelerator clients. So we're trying to work with the town of New Windsor to really get out from the middle of that and help the town actually become landlords to our accelerator clients, if at all possible. So we're working with them on that. Let's see, one of the last couple of things, Resiliency Loan Fund. This is actually the Orange County Funding Corporation, but you may recall normally IDAs in their LDCs are not allowed to give loans, but there was a special exception made because of COVID. So last year, the IDA created a COVID-19 Resiliency Loan Fund to help small businesses in Orange County get by. The plan was to give out $500,000 in loans, 50 loans at $10,000 each. For some reason, they weren't all given out, but 49 were, for a total of $476,000 in funds dispersed. To date, 14 businesses have paid those loans off in full. 30 are current with payments, and we're working with 5 who are behind, actually 2 of which are non-payments altogether. But generally speaking, those businesses are repaying those debts, and if they haven't done so already, then they are current with us. Lastly, the board at the November board meeting voted to extend IDA benefits for 3 projects. One, GAM Enterprises, which is actually an expansion over at King Zach in Goshen here, the party product distributor. Also the Castle Fun Center, they have an expansion going on in Chester, and Southgate Flats Hotel, a hotel in Highland Falls that is planned. Because of COVID, those plans had to be stretched out. Costs have also been escalating. Costs for building materials and construction in general have also been a factor. So those applicants have been back in front of us asking for an extension on the 2-year time limit we give. So we did extend those benefits for another year, and I look forward to giving you updates on those projects as they continue to move forward. That's all I have planned to report, but I can answer any questions you may have.
Okay, any questions for Bill? Legislator Totel.
Yeah, just a word of caution on the Southgate Flats project. The owner is in well over 100 violations on one of the pieces of property that was proposed for the Southgate Flats project. That's the old Christiana Hotel. And I know that it's been in process with the building inspector. The last I spoke to him about 3 months ago was that he had not received any response from Mr. Minicozy. So I'm just going to give you a word of caution and a word of, warning that he's not in good standing at this point with the building department in the community.
And you may know, I've had conversations with the mayor and the building department and the engineer there as well. I didn't know it was 100 violations. I had heard of violations, so
Yeah, it was,
looking at that more closely.
quote unquote, from the building inspector was, I stopped counting when I got to 100.
Wow. I'll check into that. Thanks very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay, Legislator Benton?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm not sure if I missed something or not, but when are the entire members of the legislature going to be given a copy of that report that was given to you?
It's on the website, and I think we were all emailed a copy of it.
We were in a copy? Oh, okay. I must have missed it somehow. Okay, thank you.
It can be downloaded on the legislative website, too. Sure.
Other questions? Oh, okay, Bill. Thank you, and we'll see you next month.
Thank you. See you then.
Okay, next up, we have Amanda Dana, Tourism Director, for quarterly update.
Hello, and thank you for the opportunity to speak. Hope everyone's doing well and very active in the county. There's a lot going on. So as a blanket statement, if you are bored in Orange County, just go on our website and look at our events and you will not be bored. I can guarantee that. So thank you for having us. I'm here with Gianna Barker in my office and Nora Martinez from the film office. And I would like to say, thank God she is now full-time at the film office, and she's been hitting the court running since she's got here for full-time. You were sent out reports, and I think you also have another copy of the reports, but just to highlight some of the things going on in tourism. We will continue to, bless you. We will continue to talk about some of the attractions and some of the great things going on in our county through our marketing extensions. I would like to point out that our occupancy rates on hotels has still continued to be very strong on the weekends. Don't know if you know a little background about hotel occupancy rates in the county, but typically Thursday, Friday, Saturday are our big nights for close to 100% occupancy. During the week, we fall off a little bit, but not to the degree that you might think. So our occupancy rate is, by Star Report, is about 69.5%, which is actually very good because considering it's 100% on the weekends, that means that during the week is picking up some slack as well. So that's good to see. Some of the top reasons for that: Legoland New York Resort, weddings, Woodbury Common, premium outlets, and sporting events. So we'll get to sporting events in just a second. I did have a nice conversation with Dave Mistretta, who is the manager for Woodbury Common Premium Outlets, and he said that he was very happy at what happened over Black Friday, so to speak. They actually didn't open until 6 a.m. instead of the 12 midnight that they were normally doing. So they were actually open a shorter amount of time, and they were only 2% less in gross sales from 2019, and they were actually open less time. So they were very happy to report that. 40 buses came in from New York City between Friday morning and Sunday afternoon, full. Every one of them were to capacity. They did very well. And that's a great sign for us because the international market hasn't completely come back yet, and yet this is happening there, and we know that 50% of their gross sales is through the international market. So that's great to see. And speaking of sales and sales tax, I did pull some numbers based on the latest sales taxes that were for our county. So as a quarter, we did very well. Third quarter results, we were up 24.8% as compared to 2020, making it $94 million in sales tax collected. So I took a look back at 2019 because we always hate to compare to 2020 because you always said it's a COVID year. Can't wait to get past that. So we were actually up 16% over 2019 for the third quarter results. And so I did a little more digging and I found out, I want to say who's doing really well in the state of New York for sales tax. And it looks like we are number 3 for the third quarter this year. Schuyler County, does anyone know where that is? Schuyler is like a Watkins Glen area, that kind of stuff. They performed the highest for the third quarter at 28% increase. Sullivan County was 25.6%, and Orange County was 24.8% growth. I was always good to see that. So, and the highest performer for the third quarter is Saratoga Springs. Imagine that. So I'm gonna give you some fun facts to go with. So overall, year to date, from January to October, we are up 27.3% in sales tax for the county. So that means if we stop selling anything right now, right this second, we still are beating last year's numbers. So we still have 2 more months to go, which is great to see. Okay, so we've been busy. The New York State Tourism Conference, I was a guest speaker there on 2 topics. One of them is film. As you know, a lot of film going on in Orange County. Spoke to a lot of folks about that. The second topic was sports tourism, and sports tourism has really, we've seen a big uptick in Orange County in sports tourism with some of our event sites. So Blue Sky Sports Complex in the town of Walk Hill has seen continuous activity in lacrosse, mostly lacrosse and soccer. And actually just recently I'm involved in an RFP to bring another event there. I'll talk a little more about that and other RFPs that we've been doing. But sports tourism is really picking up, and hopefully we'll be engaging in a sales conference next year to bring in those events. They're in a 2-year cycle. So if I were to go in 2022, that's for 2024 events. So it's pretty much 2 years behind, but we need to get there. Okay, so going to hop into economic development for a little bit. I am the chair of the PLAY work group in the Mid-Hudson region, and we have been meeting, and they had a lot of different goals for the Mid-Hudson region in tourism, and what we did as a group is we decided to make it really simple. We made 4 goals in the Mid-Hudson region. Getting to the Mid-Hudson region, which is all about transportation and transportation options to the Mid-Hudson region. Improving the quality of life, which has to do with trails, biking trails, green technologies. That's the second goal. The third goal is support and advocacy toward farms and agritourism, which is a big part of our push for Orange County for tourism, especially in visitor spending. And then the last is enhanced promotion of tourism industry, which is all about marketing and creative marketing to get folks to Orange County and the Mid-Hudson region to spend their money here. So what are the things to mention? I'm on the Hudson Valley Economic Development Corp. I co-chair the hospitality group. Been working very hard to come up with initiatives to also bring more visitors to the Mid-Hudson region. I think it's important to talk about Empire State Development and the awards. The CFA awards were announced. We're very happy to see 4 awards come in the tourism and hospitality sector. Aspire Brewing in the town of Walk Hill, $500,000 is coming to them. Orange County Dinosaur Park. Now that is slated still for the town of Walk Hill by application, and hoping it says stay there. But true transparency, they are looking at other sites right now, having a little difficulty getting through the planning board at town of Walk Hill. But we would love to keep them in Orange County. They'd have to change their application with Empire State Development if they change locations, but we're hoping to keep them in Orange County. Storm King Art Center, they will be receiving a $2 million award. And Foster Supply Hospitality, which is in the city of Newburgh, and they have been the recipient of a CFA award as well. So that's great to see that those 4 awards are all in the tourism and hospitality sector. So we focused on marketing initiatives on winter activities, and what we would like to do is try to have people do more in the wintertime. Everyone says, oh, you know, you have such a downtime in January and February. We don't like to hear that. We like to try to talk about activities that can take place here in Orange County in those months. We've been focusing on that. We're very proud of the fact that our social media campaigns have been doing very well. We increased our year-to-date Instagram followers by 139%. And our Facebook followers by 98%. So we are very happy with those results, which means more people are following us and watching us on social media, which only helps our county. You should see the new guide came out right there in front of you, right here. So it's a great guide. It came out. It took a little time. We had some delays with production, but it got to us, and we've been working on a very robust plan to get that all over the place like we normally do. And we've been working with some of our vendors to get them to the Thruway and get them out to other visitor centers, but really to get those guides out there. And people do love these guides. It's a big tool for us and other counties in the region. We use these when we go on trade shows, and we use it as a resource as well. So when you have a chance, just take a look in that. We're really proud of that. And we did the map. So some of the top sites on our website, events, family fun, lodging, shopping, and craft beverage. Those are typically the top 4 or 5 that keep rotating in. They're our most popular areas that people go to search. We experimented in something called the Pandora Radio Campaign, which became a very successful campaign for us to get our name out there. 1 million banner impressions received and audio included, and 150 banner impressions that linked directly to the 150,000 banner impressions that linked directly to the website. So that's a successful campaign. We did that for a couple of months. You are getting your e-blast still, and many people have complimented us, and I should say Gianna, who creates those, the e-blasts that come out every week. It just came out today. You have a visual in your package on that, and people are very happy with those, and hopefully that drives traffic to those events. We have been partnering with I Love New York to work with them on their blogs. Blogs are very, something that they do very well. And we were noted in the 9 things to do in New York State. Mount Peter actually was put in that article in the blog, and we were happy to see that. We also were happy that the Can't Miss attractions 1 hour from New York City for I Love New York. Legoland New York was mentioned in there, as well as Warwick Apple Trail. So we're happy to see that. The Hudson Valley Tourism Group, regional group, I sit as the current president of that group. We have been focusing on the International Tour Operator Campaign. So what's that? It's when people come to here, mostly international, in tour groups. And so we wanted to make sure our properties here in Orange County, here in the Valley, were ready to receive those tour operators and know why it's beneficial. We held an education series on November 17th, where 43 attractions did participate, and it was well received. So it's not just about, hoping that tours will come through. You have to be in a certain circuit and offer a certain rate, and then you will get those midweek stays and those overnights. So it worked out well. We have some examples of some of the events we've been promoting. Lights and Bloom at Orange County Park. I went there last week. That was fantastic. I'm thinking all of you have been there, that it is a real gem. Orange County Winterfest at Cedar Lake Estates. I was there yesterday, spent some time in Port Jervis and in Greenville, and I actually started walking down the street and I was stuck in the middle of a parade. I don't know if you knew that. There was a parade there. Okay, so there was a parade. It was great. We did a little shopping there and spent some time in Port Jervis. It was really great to see. Some other things, the Sugarloaf Performing Arts Center at the Nutcracker Ballet. We have a lot of holiday lights activities. We have Santa and we have holiday markets. If you notice that there's municipalities, Monroe, Warwick, Newburgh, that are participating in vendor events, holiday markets. It's really catching on. They're doing very well. Additional projects we're working on. We worked on Hudson Valley Made. It's a makers market event. We participated in the Hudson Valley Restaurant Week. That was very well received. I'll get to Frontier Air in a minute. One of the RFPs we've been working on is, and this is a tongue-tie one, International Bridge Conference of the International Cable Supported Bridge Owners Association. I will give anyone $1 who can say that again. But this is an association that's looking for their conference for 2023, I believe, and it's emphasizing the Bear Mountain Bridge. The Bear Mountain Bridge has been put as a place for historic bridge folks in this. I'm not going to say the name of that again. Then they feel that this should be where the conference will be, and we'll be partnering up with the Thayer Hotel and other lodging options. Quite a few hundred people attend these conferences, 250 to 300 people, so we're hoping to get that RFP. Our matching funds application with the state of New York will be greater this year, which is always a good thing. It's greater than last year, so we were happy to apply for that grant. Roam the Empire campaign, which is a campaign made to target New Yorkers to spend money in New York. It's talked about the Hudson Valley region and Orange County. We did a lot of work with that, and it went really well. It's mostly a social media campaign, but we had great results with that. And to go back to what I was talking before, we're involved with an RFP to attract a spike ball competition to the town of Walkville. And you're like, spike ball, really? No, thousands of people come to this. So it's very popular. It's the Northeast Conference, it'll be the Northeast Tournament. We're trying to get that here at the town of Walkville. And there's a lot of things that go into that, but we're happy to work on that. Great news, our lodging plugin on our website, which converts people to our hotel widget, over 500 searches last month. That's very good. We continue to work with our local radio, WTBQ, and we also are working directly with Allegiant Air and Frontier Air. Has anyone taken one of the flights yet? Allegiant, Frontier? Yeah, where did you go? Okay, all right, how was your flight? Good, glad to hear that. That was on Allegiant? Got it. So it's a great opportunity for us, not only for us getting down there, for actually people down there getting up here. And that's one of the focus we have. How can we get to the folks in those demographic areas and get them to come to Orange County, Hudson Valley? So we're working on that. And speaking of the airport, Port Authority has 2 new airline discussions right now. One of them is Norse Atlantic Air, which is an international carrier. We wrote a letter of support for them. They're in DOT right now, and hopefully they'll get some indication of approval in the summer of 2022, hoping for that. The second one, which we cannot say the name of the airline, it is an Icelandic air carrier that is also looking at Stewart. Tomorrow we have a meeting at 1 o'clock at the airport to meet with the heads of that airline, and hopefully they will consider coming to Stewart. I think it looks really good, actually, so hopefully they'll be coming. So some public relations, we do a lot of that. We work a lot with Hudson Valley Magazine. I'm not going to go through all those articles, but that's a lot of articles, a lot of press that Orange County is getting. Collaborating with them has been a real good thing for us. The Lonely Planet travel writers have been very interested in Orange County and the Hudson Valley. They've wrote 2 separate articles on us, and we were happy to report that. And right now going on, USA Today Reader's Choice Awards are going on, where people can vote for another couple of weeks what the top attraction is in the country. So you guessed it, Legoland New York is on the list. And right now they're at number 13 in the country. So keep voting and hopefully it'll go up higher. But out of all the attractions in the country, which are hundreds and hundreds of them, that's number 13. And that's going on as we speak. Okay. I'm going to hop into, first, does anyone have any questions on tourism or some of the activities that we've been doing?
Any questions? Legislator Totel?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Did West Point reopen this year the ski slope to the public? Because I know last year it was closed. They were talking about reopening it, but they were undecided last time I spoke to the garrison commander.
We actually just researched that. They are, yes. I think they have limited hours, but they are open. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Once they get, up and running with making snow, now that we're getting, well, not today, but colder.
Yeah.
I'd like to see if we can coordinate something with the Chamber of Commerce in Highland Falls. They got a new president, Charlene Yale.
Charlene.
And do some type of event to bring some more business to Main Street. Maybe we can coordinate something with some Main Street shopping or lunch and ski ticket or something along those lines to try and bring some more business into the Main Street, because it's been hurting. And I'd like to bring some type of event there. Charlene's very energetic and has a lot of energy for this, and I'd like to get the 2 of you hooked up together to create something to happen there.
Yeah, I'd like that.
As you're
Thank you.
talking about winter events.
I'll follow up with that. Thank you.
Okay, great, thank you.
Okay, Legislator Benton.
Laurie, maybe you can ask the garrison commander if they would provide free tickets, like to the ski slope. WTBQ gives away hundreds every year as, 2-second song contest winners get to go to Mount Peter. So might be interesting.
Thanks, I'll look into that, because I know it's run by MWR out of Washington, so garrison commander doesn't have total, yeah. But that's a great idea, thank you.
Okay, other questions?
I'm not done.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, so I have some film stuff to talk about. Sorry about that. So I'm going to change my hat around and talk a little about film. So We've worked, in 2021, we looked at what the films we worked at. We landed 12 films here, and that does not count the commercials or the small independents or the college films that are going on right now. We landed 12 of them. There's a list of them in front of you. The Old Man, The Whale, The White House Plumbers, The Way Out, Billions, Redemption at Cherry Hills, Hallmark film, HGTV, which we'll talk about, has been here a couple of times. One December Night, that was Goshen Pinball, The Adults, Three Women, and Hometown Kickstart, which I just mentioned, HGTV in Cornwall. Out of all the ones we've been working with, and you have a spreadsheet hopefully in front of you, landing 12 is quite the accomplishment, and especially when you get a series. So let's talk about series, because on the horizon, we have a series coming in called Poker Face. And those are the executive producers from HBO like this area so much, they're sticking around and they're doing Poker Face here. That's a 10-episode series, which we like to hear. They've already booked 2 sound stages. They will be starting that early spring, and they'll be booked through the following November or so. Very similar to a White House Plumbers. They'll be using all kinds of locations in Orange County. Newburgh, New Windsor centric. They're in Newburgh sound stages, right, Nora? Yeah, Newburgh sound stages. I say that because we have others that are opening up, which is great. Some other great news. So everyone knows about the Hallmark movie that was here in Goshen and Middletown and Newburgh. That was a great experience. Well, landed another one. It was between Toronto and Orange County, and we got it. And it's called Spectacular. And why is it spectacular? And it's double the budget of a normal Hallmark movie. And that will be based out of New York City and in Orange County. It's spectacular because it's about the Rockettes, and that will be part of the film. And that's probably why it's double the budget, but it is a premiere movie. It'll be shown next year, Christmas time. And we just won that. So it's a really, really good piece of business for us. Story Avenue, that's a Jamie Foxx executive producer. It's a production by him. Those are 3 we're working on right now before the year even starts, and they're committing to our sound stages. So speaking of sound stages, I just want to give you a quick recap of New Windsor. It looks like stage 3, which is the bowling alley. That will be coming to us quicker than any of the others. It looks like it's going forward. But stage 4, 5, and 6, which is Anthony's Pier 9, that probably will be later on next year. They've hit a couple of, not stumbling blocks, but expenses they didn't expect with retaining walls and the like. So that'll be a little bit pushed, but the stage 3 will be opening up, and other production buildings will be opening up on that corridor. I don't know if you remembered, the entire corridor now is zoned for film production, so that's a great thing. So we have production scouting right now, Story Ave, as I mentioned, Spectacular, and a movie called Brightside through Apple TV. It's good to see. So Cornwall, why are they getting so much love? HGTV seems to love them. The Hometown Kickstart is filming there. They were filming there last week, and they'll be finishing that up. Did they finish that yet, Nora? No? Okay, so they'll be here for a little while longer. A lot of them stay in the Cromwell Manor, which is great. And it's Nate Burgess. Anyone heard of him? Anyone watch HGTV here? Come on, you got to do. You do. Okay, you do. He was there. There's pictures of him there. He was there. That project focused on 3 things. A makeover of a home, a makeover of a commercial entity, and a makeover of some type of infrastructure project, which was the bridge in the village of Cornwall-on-Hudson. So that was great to see. They were there, and it was great to work with those guys as well. So filming does have an impact, as we know. We talked about Goshen itself and some of the places they were in Goshen. Stagecoach Inn, the computer guy, and also other eateries that were there benefited. 85 people a day and crew worked there. And after that, they went into the restaurants in Goshen, which was great to see. And 175 extras were hired just for that one production. So some other examples of businesses that do well with film and others to come. Pamela's on the Hudson, Atlas Security, Maybrook Diner does incredibly well with film production. Park Prosecco, Milk and Honey Mobile Beverage, Steve's Deli, Middletown Medical makes a does very well in the film industry. They provide the medical services for COVID testing. So they do that all the time. They have the contract for them. So let's end this by talking about a little bit about resources that are desperately needed in the film office community with workforce. So Below the Line Boot Camp is a camp run by Choice Films, and they work with the underserved population to train them in film production. They are 100% job placement rate. Every class they've had has been 100% placed. We've had White House plumbers pick up a bunch, Hallmark pick up a bunch. We can't get them out fast enough. So we were very supportive of this boot camp, and we're hoping it continues. I know they did get a small grant from the state, but we as a county, I hope we can surround this types of activities for training folks to get into the film office. The one thing I didn't have on this list, which I wanted to talk a little bit about, is the Armory. The Armory, I believe, is moving forward with some of their sets, permanent sets, although I think it's kind of taken a little time, but it is moving forward with transforming some of their space into permanent sets in Newburgh. So more to come on that. I have to follow up on that. Does anyone have any questions? Does anyone want to be in a film? No.
Go ahead, Rob.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that. I'd like to see that. And it really does get people knowing the community and wanting to be there. For example, even with Hallmark, with the Stagecoach Inn, they saw a huge uptick in people wanting just to be there because there was a film there. People will want to come to Cornwall to be there. And actually, the village of Highland Falls was another candidate for that same exact thing. It really came down to the two of them. But it was absolutely a candidate for that. So it does bring people into those villages and cities when those are here, absolutely.
Okay, other questions? Nope, seeing none. So thank you, and
Thank you.
keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Okay, with that, our agenda is clear, so I'd look for a motion to adjourn. Motion second. Okay, we are adjourned. Thank you.